Hi, have you ever noticed how some of your favourite players do these incredible pentatonic runs and make it look effortless? What they're doing is rarely random, and there is a way of practicing it. In this video, I'll show you some common pentatonic sequences and how to practice them using correct technique. And by the end of the video, we'll look at some ideas specific to certain players. Okay, this first idea uses a 6-note sequence. We're going to take the A minor pentatonic scale, which looks like this. 5, 8, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 8, 5, 8, and reverse. And we're going to play this. Now what's going on here is we're using an alternate picking pattern of 6 notes. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 notes of the scale. And then we go back a string to the A string and we kind of start the scale again from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we go back a string. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we go back a string. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now this is really good, and I started with this particular riff for a reason, because it's very good at helping you to synchronize both hands together. Now you can play it with legato using hammer-ons and pull-offs on the way back. But I think you'd be missing something. I think what's really useful is if you practice this with strict alternate picking, so that you're learning to play with both hands perfectly in sync with each other. Also, it helps to have some kind of drum machine or metronome playing along. Now, when you do this, if you're going to play this with alternate picking, it's very important that you, if you're starting with a downstroke, you need to slightly lean your pick down. I'm going to exaggerate that motion like this. And the reason I'm doing that is because what I don't want to do is after my first 2 notes, if I'm leaning the wrong way like this, if I go down, up, I'm now stuck on the wrong side of the string and I have to hop over the E string to get to the A string. We don't want that hopping motion. We want to lean down so that we can go down, up, and my pick has actually cleared the strings, ready to come down again. So leaning the whole time. This only works if you start with a down, of course. If you wanted to play this starting with an up, you'd need to lean the other way so that you'd have down, so up, down, and you'd clear the string again. So the way in which we lean the pick actually determines how easy it is to escape the strings. So we're going to lean down, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, back a string. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, back a string. Now coming back, now when you come back, the way you lean depends on which way you start, whether you start with a down pick or an up pick. If we start with, say, a down pick, we carry on leaning down. Down, up, I cleared the string, down, up, back a string. If I start with an upstroke, I have to lean up to clear the string. This is a great exercise, a great warm-up, and a great lick. And of course you can do it in all the patterns. So pattern 2, for example, would go back a string, back a string, back a string, and back the other way. And why not mix and match patterns? You could go pattern 1, shift to pattern 2, or we could do something like pattern 4, shift to pattern 3, pattern 2, and so on. Move it in and out of the patterns. Now we're going to do this with a drum machine, and we're going to try it with different timings. So you can play crotchets, 1, 2, 3, 4, also known as quarter notes. You've got quavers or 8th notes, which is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, which is quite hard to count while playing because we're playing a 6-note sequence but counting in 4s. We've then got semi-quavers or 16th notes. 1 EN, 2 EN, 3 EN, 4 EN, 1 EN, 2 EN, 4 EN. So you could play triplets as well, which is 3 notes per click. So it's 1 2 2 2 3 2 4 2. This next idea uses groups of 3 notes. I actually call it 3s. So let's say we're again in A minor pattern 1. We can take 3 notes, 1, 2, 3, go back a note, 1, 2, 3, back a note, 1, 2, 3, back a note. So you get, and reversing it, which I actually prefer, is 1, 2, 3, back a note, 1, 2, 3, back a note, 1, 2, 3, back a note. Now, for some reason, I find it easier to group this in blocks of 6 rather than 3. So instead of 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, I take the same phrase but go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's just something that I prefer. You can do it how you want, but I find it's easier to phrase it in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's do that slowly. Let's do it with drum machine. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. And what I'm doing when I'm playing this faster, I tend to use legato because it's very difficult on the right hand to use alternate picking. Actually, no, it's not too bad. But I prefer legato anyway because I'm lazy maybe. Now if you find these licks a little bit too difficult because they're so long-winded, you don't have to do the whole thing, you can do little bits of it. In fact, you can even take a chunk of 3 notes and just keep looping it. Which is kind of cool. And what I'm doing there is I'm barring the top 2 notes on the 5th fret. I'm playing the thin string, and I'm playing 8 on the B and just pulling off to that 5 that I've already got held. So I've got, and I keep looping. As for this hand, different ways of doing it, but I go up, pull off with a down, and then up. So I'm kind of playing outside the strings and coming back in. Sometimes I use my middle finger, but probably best not to. I could do the same on the next 2 strings. I could bar the 5 on the G and the B, and play the B, and then pull off 7 on the G. So thicker again, and again, that kind of thing. Of course you can reverse that. I can take the top 2 strings, bar the 5th fret, hammer the B string 8th fret, and then pick the thin string. So I've got this next idea is called 4s, unsurprisingly. It's like the last one, but the sequence has 4 notes in it. So for example, if we're descending, you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, back 2 notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can go back 1 note, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's fine. I like to do back 2 notes because I get to do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, roll my finger back, 2, 3, 4, back, 2, 3, 4, roll, 2, 3, 4, roll this finger, 1, 2, 3, 4, roll my first finger, 1, 2, 3, 4, roll this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, roll this one, 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool, I find it easy again to use legato here. Ascending, which I must admit I need to practice more myself, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. This next idea I did talk about in my last video where I showed you a way to break out that kind of scaly sound, and it uses 5ths, so I'm going to quickly go over it again. So what I can do is take my pattern 1 and I can basically play a series of 5ths which look a bit like power chords. So you've got this, and then a less obvious shape. Okay, so it sounds a bit weird though, it's a little bit exercisey. So I prefer, if I'm going to play a sequence of 5ths, I prefer to do the ones that are comfortable and easy to see under the scale pattern. So for example, I could play this 5th here, I could play this power chordy looking 5th here, and then this one. So I've got 5 to 7, then on the A string, 5, then 7 on the D, same on the next 2 strings. And then maybe, instead of this stretch, maybe we'll move to pattern 2 and go. And you can interrupt this one if you want with little slides, so you could go that kind of thing. Now this next idea I got from watching another YouTuber, a guy called John Cordy. His channel's fantastic, definitely check it out. And he was talking about a Guthrie Govan lick, and he wasn't sure where he got this lick from. He assumed it was Guthrie Govan. I'm going to assume the same thing, but it's a very Guthrie sounding lick. And basically what it is it's a pentatonic lick that shifts through different patterns. But weirdly it does this. It descends, but then ascends up to another pattern and then descends again. Let me show you what I mean. So we've got pattern 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what's happening there is we're going pattern 1, And we're going to slide 8 to 10, putting us in pattern 2. And then we're going to run down the scale 4 notes. And then we're going to slide to pattern 3. And run down 4 notes. And slide to pattern 4. And run down 4 notes. And then slide to pattern 5. There you go. Now when you do this, it's fine learning it like that. Again, it's a very long lick. You might find this easier. If you learn your patterns so well, you can do this from any pattern. So let's say we're in A minor again, but starting on pattern 5 down here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or let's pick a different key, a random key. Let's go key of B minor, pattern 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. Have a listen to this Paul Gilbert lick. Okay, so I did that in D minor just to be different. And what I've done is I've done a series of legato tricks. So I'm going 12 on the A string, pulling off to 10, and then coming down to 13. I'm just descending down the scale. Then I climb the scale with a hammer on, and then come back to the A string. So I've got... I basically repeat that pattern on every string. So then on the D string we'd have... on the G, on the B, and then we're reversing this. There's all kinds of ways you can do this. I like to do this. I like to go B string, hammer, then come up the scale, and then come down the scale. I'll do that again. 10, 13, 10, 13, 10, 12. And do the same on the G. Same on the D. Same on the A. You could, of course, make this a bit longer. So you could go, so run down more of the scale, and then go from the D string. And finally, the one we've all been waiting for. How does Eric Johnson do that really fast 5-note sequence? Well, let me show you what he does. Let's take an E minor pentatonic scale. Here's the pattern, pattern 1. Eric Johnson loves to do this thing where he plays 5 notes, starting with a downstroke. And he loves to sort of lean his pick down. He can lean it both ways, but he's very much a downward leaning player most of the time. So what he does is he plays the pentatonic scale, coming back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 notes. Now, if you're alternating strictly, you should have gone down, up, down, up, down. Then what he does, that's 5 notes, he then plays the same thing from the B string, but starting with a down, specifically he sweep picks from the G to the B string. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, sweep down to the B string. 5 notes again, sweep down to the G string, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, sweep 2, 3, 4, 5. But he's so good at this, what he can do is he can actually start on a different pattern, like pattern 2, and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, move to pattern 1, and then carry on. So what he's doing there is in E minor, he's going 17, 15, same on the B, and then the 5th note is here, 16 on the G, and sweep down into the B string. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, sweep, 17, 15, 16, 14, 12. I've now shifted to pattern 1. I then sweep to the B string. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sweep 2, 3, 4, 5. Sweep 2, 3, 4, 5. Be careful you are actually sweeping and not hopping. You need to push off one string and land like that on the next string, ready to start again. So you can practice this slow like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Push and land. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Push and land there, waiting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anyway, thanks for watching, people. I hope that was useful to you. If so, please click like and subscribe. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.